Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I am thrilled to have back on again Jill and David Morey of Lost on the Metro. They have just released a fantastic new track called Mariana, and I'm super excited to talk to them all about it. How have you been? It's been well over a year, so what's news?
Yeah.
Still writing away. It's
Staying busy, obviously.
yeah, staying busy. We're both working in a high school and writing music at the same time and raising a great 8-year-old child. So it's keeping us busy.
Yeah.
Clearly busy, but you're finding the time. You're doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
And we've been writing a lot. It's been a really productive year and a half, I guess. And it's, yeah, we've been just whenever we can find the time, we've been writing music. So that's been good.
Amazing. Well, just like last time, before we get into the song, I want to know more about you. For those that didn't watch the last interview or listen to it or whatever medium, who are you? What is Lost on the Metro, and what are you up to?
Cool.
Well, this is Jill and I'm David and this is Maisie who appeared on the front
Okay.
cover. But we're married. We've been married for over 25 years, and we just started writing. Well, do we want to go deeper into
Sure.
the origin
Yeah,
story?
sure. Why not?
Do it.
And then I'll tell a little bit about the origin, and then Jill can talk about the name Lost in the Metro.
Cool.
Um, I reaching a little farther back. I for about 3.5 years, my brother and I played live music in Iowa, and we lived in Iowa in a little apartment together. It was a really nice time, and then that was seemingly a very long time ago, and we set the music aside for a bit, and we're focusing on other things. And then about 5 years ago,
Yeah.
6 years ago maybe, I was working at a different high school, and one of the teachers approached me and said, "Hey, we have this teacher cover band. Do you think you'd be interested in playing? What do you play?" And I said, "Well, I play guitar and I play bass." He goes, "Oh, you play bass? Fantastic!" So
Always need a bassist.
exactly.
Seriously, though, everyone plays guitar.
Right.
So I became the bassist for the teacher cover band, and it was a lot of fun. It was just a nice kind of relaxed way to get back into music, and we started thinking about different songs we were going to perform at this next small little show we had, and there's the Pretender by the Foo Fighters came
Mhm.
up as a possibility, and we're like, oh, that'd be a fun song to play, and and it was an all guy and all male band, and nobody could sing high enough in the key that it was written in to sing the part that Dave Grohl sings, and so I said, I think I know someone who can sing that part, and so I brought her on, and she impressed the gentleman in the band mightily, even though they didn't express it at first. It
It
was a little
was
strange.
hilarious.
Guys are weird when it comes to that, so don't
Yeah,
Yeah,
take
it was
offense. Yeah.
we
exactly.
right. And we spent like 2 months, maybe 2 months or
Mhm.
6 weeks getting it ready because he's like, would you be willing to do it? I was like, sure, why not? And so I kind of had to try out for the band.
Sure.
I gave it my all, and then they were like, okay,
Okay.
They didn't say,
You're in.
but
You're in.
she was
but
in.
I was
So,
in.
Sure.
and so we did we kind of hobbled along like that for I don't know, a year maybe.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was fun. It was
Yeah.
really relaxed, and then at the end of that year, we were going into our summer because we were all teachers, and one of the main leader of the band said, "Hey, I got an idea. Let's all write 3 songs,
Yeah, something like
three
that.
songs over the summer, and we'll bring them and we'll show them all to each other in the fall, and we'll have some original music to put together." And we said, that sounds like a pretty good
Nice.
idea. And we talked at the end of the summer, and we were the only three. We were the only ones who had done any writing.
Sure.
We had written like 5 songs or something. So, and only one of them was kind of halfway decent, but it was fun. It was just our first foray into writing songs
Nice.
Right.
together, and that's how we started Lost on the Metro. But if you want to
Sure.
talk about what Lost on the Metro means,
Right, but if for
or
just
add
a
anything.
second, like it was so cool because we didn't realize we could write music together, and we both had grown up in musical families, but
Okay.
we just hadn't we never thought about that as a married couple. So it was wild to have been married for that long, and then to kind of go through that process of realizing that we could write music together. Like, who, this is such a cool new chapter.
Totally. It's like a new level of intimacy that not a lot of
Totally.
couples, I can imagine, do. Like,
Totally.
obviously, you have your separate hobbies and you do your own things, but to be able to connect on that level, it's
Right.
such a different type of connection. So I love that
Right.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I grew up writing a lot of poetry. That was a way that I just kind of got through some of the hard stuff in my life.
Sure.
And so like I was used to getting my feelings out in
Yeah.
that area, and some of it's pretty dark. It's just like the way I express emotions, and so when David was playing some riffs that summer, I just I was in the kitchen, and he was just playing around on the guitar, and I heard something, and I just started singing some of my poetry to it.
Sure.
And then I was like, wait. And so I ran around the corner and I was like, play that again, play that again. And that's how our first song started. Because it was like I
Amazing.
brought some poetry and he had been working on a riff. And then that was kind of like the birth of the band.
Right.
We
I mean,
started
and fast forward all this time and look what you've accomplished. It's wild.
It's so cool.
No, it really is. And I want to talk about this song, Maria. Is it Mariana or Mariana? Or know how you
We
Mariana.
call him Mario.
Mariana. Um,
Yeah.
Again, because I remember last time, obviously, your poetry is what comes forth, and there's always such, like an attention to detail when it comes to the lyrics. Obviously, it's like the focal point of your music. But I'd love to hear from you. What is it about? Like, what does this song embody?
Cool. Thanks for asking. I guess for me, I remember writing it, and it was
Sure.
I stay up late, and so I usually write. Yeah, I usually write at night. That's where I feel the most creative, and I think I was just struggling,
Yeah.
with with whatever I was dealing with at that time, and I was just thinking about uh, just feeling lost in that moment, and also feeling lost in the pain,
Yeah.
but also realizing just when you're going through that, there's just that moment where you're kind of embracing the pain, and I think that's really important, and that's important for me. I don't know, maybe it's different for other people, but there's just a point when you're struggling when um, you sort of let go. And for me, it's like that's when I have to make a decision about like, am I which way am I going to go with this,
Right.
like am I going to get deeper into that feeling of depression, where I'm going to have to figure other ways to kind of get myself out of it,
Sure.
or do I look for other ways that are kind of soothing or that help me get out of that? And I don't know.
I fully see that. I think a lot of people struggle with finding any sort of coping mechanism.
Yeah.
I think it's why so many artists continue to create art. No matter what it is, they find an outlet.
Mhm.
Obviously, for you guys, you found that making music hopefully helps with those struggles.
Yeah.
Is there a part of making music that, like, maybe a specific moment that feels the most energetic for you, the thing that makes it feel the most worth it?
Mm, that's cool.
For me, it goes through different stages.
Mhm.
I'll just and a lot of songs have just come, well, a lot of melodic tunes, I should say, because the songs are really what Jill adds to it in terms of the lyrics, but the melody and the chord progressions and the riffs and that sort of thing. Most often they'll just come. I'll just be kind of playing around with something in the other room, and Jill will be in the kitchen or
Sure.
downstairs, and then all of a sudden she'll come in and say, "Play that again," and
Right.
similar to the story she was
All the
telling
time.
earlier. But for me, it doesn't really come alive until and I'll also until she starts adding a tune to it and words to it that she can sing along with. And so
Okay.
she'll just have me play through a riff again and again and again. All of a sudden she'll start singing with it, and something will click. And instead of this mildly interesting chord progression or riff, now it's become something so much more, and it's alive. It's sort of and now we can do something with it. We can shape it, and
Yeah.
that's the most um, exciting moment for me. Oh wow, this could turn into
Could this
something.
be a song? Exactly. No, it's that, like, aha moment of, oh, we're
Yeah.
making music right now.
Yeah.
In terms of your guys' entire process of making music, is that how it always starts? You ever set out to play a song, or is it always one person hearing someone in the other room play a song and then joining in?
I think it always is that
Are
actually.
you
I
serious?
think
That's so much
like I'm
better.
thinking about it.
That's so much better.
I think every single song that we've written, and we've written like over 60 now, and
Wow.
every single song has been like him playing a riff and me coming in. And sometimes I just sit on the couch and
Yeah.
I go through. I write poetry on my phone and on my computer, and I'll just scroll through some of the poetry. But our most recent one that we're
Mhm.
working on right now, the riff made me feel something, and it made me feel sort of like this sense of melancholy, and I was like, I think I have the poem for that. And so I was sort of just thinking about what would fit. And I think for me, one of the most exciting moments is when a word fits the mood, and
Mhm.
sometimes it's just a word,
Sure.
and like when it fits the mood of whatever he's playing, and then there's just some sort of a connection, and it's like and then it just starts to kind of fit
Yeah,
together.
yeah. I
So
love that. I was totally joking when I said that, but I'm so happy that that's the way that it happens because listen, you would not believe the amount of, people that I've had the opportunity to talk to who were like, "Yes, I sit down and I try to write a song, or I'm driving in the car and it pops in." But this method, I think you're onto something here. I mean, no, seriously, let it happen organically.
Yeah.
Don't force it. Um, in terms of the actual sound, style, and genre of it, across your music that I've heard, there is like a signature essence to it. Like you can tell this is coming from you two. Do you find that to be purposeful or just it just happens how it happens?
yeah, it's
Kind
interesting.
of somewhere in between because I think we both have a sound that we enjoy
Sure.
Hmm.
making,
Hmm.
and that's a
Yeah.
sound that we look for. Um,
Yeah.
and it's either there, or it's not. Sometimes, and but it's coming back to sort of linking your previous question with this one.
Yeah.
Um, we try to force it, it never works. I'm like, ooh, why don't
Right.
Of
we
course
make
not.
this
Of
minor, do
course.
this something, and we're like, oh, that isn't going to go anywhere. So it's
Right.
it's it's definitely something that's whenever we have tried to be like intentional about it, um, the result is never good, and it doesn't go very far. We'll spend maybe I don't know a day or two on it and think, let's move on to something else.
Yeah.
Um,
At least you've
but,
reached
but
that maturity to make that realization instead of forcing it like a ton of artists do. Because
that
it's
is
like
that is
it's a
definitely
sunken cost of playing music.
Yeah, that's a good point. And
yeah.
I've also tried to force lyrics. Like I'll be like, I
Yeah.
really love this lyric or this stanza of a poem, and I've tried to force it into songs, and it never works. It's like we always end up reworking it, and so yeah, it's a very organic, really cool process.
But it is nice to be able as you point out, to be able to discard things that we think this
Yes.
isn't quite what we want, or it might
Right.
even be close, but it's not quite what we want. And I think that's a result of having done it for 4 years. And I remember I remember early when we first started writing this, I thought when we first wrote our first songs together, I thought, okay, this is gonna be really hard, and we're gonna have a major learning curve, and we're probably not gonna like many of the songs you write in this first year when years 2 and 3 come around. And I was like, I'm not gonna say anything about it. And I remember telling you about that last year, and you're like, you knew that was gonna be hard, and we
I,
are gonna throw away a lot of our early songs. And I said, I
yeah,
thought that might be the case.
yeah, I
So
I didn't realize that. And just being sort of and he had worked with songs with his brother before, and so
Mm.
he had gone through that process a little bit. And I'm glad he didn't tell me, because like, we wrote like 30 songs in that year, and
So
we probably sing like 6 of them now, that we still kind of hold on to and play live. And that's really
amazing.
interesting.
but that was cool because that was sort of like
Hmm.
figuring out what, as you coming back to your other question about the sound, figuring out what exactly was the sound we were looking for,
Yeah.
and not really being satisfied with a lot of that early stuff. And then it started to cohere and come together and think, okay, now that's a little closer to what we want. It's a little closer. It's a little closer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever considered experimenting like way off the grid, just going like full Beatles 3 or 4 years in and just seeing what happens? Or do you think that you found what you're looking for? Obviously it took time to get there, but
It's a good question. I don't know. This feels like such a good sort of groove right now.
Yeah,
And I think as we're working kind of, because it just feels really good, I feel like we're really creative in this kind of genre groove, whatever we're working
sure.
on. So I don't know. I mean, I guess that's part of growth too, is thinking about kind of how we're going to push ourselves
I
uh,
understand
in
that.
the future. But I guess right now I just feel like really good about what we're creating, and
Good.
I do feel like the stuff we're creating now, we we have grown a lot from 4 years ago. You know, when we just kind of look at how we created and what it sounded like, and even lyrics. I feel like we've evolved a bit, maybe a little bit.
No, completely reasonable. Do you both have differing influences? Like what you listen to on a daily basis, does that differ? And if it does, do you find it difficult to ever find a happy medium with making music?
That's-
That's a really interesting question.
um, Go ahead.
One way to, and this probably wasn't the direction you were thinking of, but one way that I think of it is, if I listen to something on the radio, like the first few times I listen to it, the only thing I hear is the guitar and the rhythm and stuff.
Sure.
And I think, oh, I like that. That's a nice rhythm. And she doesn't hear that at all. Oh, the only thing she hears is the lyrics.
Yep.
And so
No, but that's perfect. That's perfect.
exactly,
From a
exactly.
band dynamic. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
right,
And so
right.
and so what'll happen is I'm like, there's a song that's like, I don't know, 10 or 15 years old, and
Yeah,
she'll be singing it. I'm like, what's that song from? Oh, what song is that from? And she'll be saying, oh, it's from this whatever song that she's singing. I
sure.
never knew that was the lyric. And so it takes me forever
Right.
to catch on to lyrics sometimes. But I don't know, and maybe not different influences, but different pieces and anything
Yeah.
here. I think, oh, that might be interesting. I wonder what I could do. It might be a little bit different than that. And then, but I know you're.
Yeah. Yeah, I listen. So if I can't connect to the lyrics on a song, then I find that I'll change the radio or switch to another song, you
Sure.
know. So I feel like I have to connect to the lyrics and also the tone of the singer's voice. That
Sure.
me, I just
Hmm.
like have to connect in that way too. But we listen to so much. We listen to like, yeah, I mean everything. And I enjoy TikTok. Like we're on TikTok and Instagram,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so all the trending songs, and I was like, oh yeah, that's really good. So I just
So
sort of listen to all
that's
that.
hilarious.
Yeah, that's really fun.
Um,
But yeah, lately I don't know. We've been listening to a lot of Jimmy World lately. That's
awesome.
what we've
Yeah.
been, yeah, like in the car and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I do feel like we've been working up some covers.
Okay.
So I don't know. Lately, we've been listening to some Bonnie Raitt and
Nice.
more sort of country classics, um, and stuff like that. But yeah, we love like Foo Fighters too, and
Sure.
um,
What's not to love?
yeah, right. And I always go back. Like lately, I've been going back and watching Macklemore videos because I love
Cool.
him. I love him, and so it's just kind of fun.
It's too much out there, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
David, to your point, I'm you because I hear the guitar and I hear the drums, I hear all the instrumentation first,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then the lyrics come second. And I find that the artists that I ultimately end up falling in love with are the ones that feel the most well-rounded. Like it's not that I won't listen to their lyrics for any reason. It's that I don't think that anyone can listen to a complex song once and absorb it all. When there's 100 things happening, how could any one person listen to it once and just be like, I get it? You need to go back into the music.
Right.
I think that's really, not to keep tooting your horn, but I think that's what makes you guys a great musical pair is that, yeah, you're the yin and yang to each other's like musical process, which is so awesome to hear. um, and it fully beats the band dynamic of having 5 or 6 people and okay, you do this, you do that, and then you come together and there's arguments.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
love it so much.
Yeah.
So
That's
cool.
um,
really cool.
that's not to say though that we don't disagree, because there'll be
Of
times
course
where,
not. Of
yeah,
course not.
right. And that's really interesting too, though. But because we've been together for so long, it's like, we both feel really confident
Yeah.
say, I think that's a little too long in that part. Could you shorten it, or could you do something different right there? Because I
Hmm.
really think that this word or this line would be good right there. And so, and it's also really cool because we step into the space. Like our whole living room now is like a music room.
Love it.
Because from COVID, we were in the basement, then we,
Right.
ended up on the porch, and so now we're in the living room, and I feel like when we step into that space, it's like we have a different kind of relationship as musicians, and that is really cool to see in our marriage, because it's very sort of fluid, and
Hmm.
so the creation of the music is just this really cool professional partnership and creative partnership. And I think that in some of the poetry that I've written, those are some things that I wouldn't necessarily say in a norm, in just in a regular daily
Yeah.
conversation. And so I think that I'm able to express things that either have happened to me before, or that I'm feeling just even within the marriage, or thinking about other things. I'm able to express things musically with lyrics that I might not otherwise express. So it's like a whole different conversation on a certain level.
I
And
love that. So, you're able to be a lot more vulnerable, it
yeah,
sounds like. And yeah, music has that weird quality of maybe you can't say it to one person directly, but if a
yeah,
million people listen to it, then it's totally fine. The
yeah,
weirdest thing.
it's so
Yeah, that's a good
The
true.
point.
weirdest thing.
It is the
Um,
weirdest
yeah,
thing, isn't it?
crazy.
Right. Right. And
Uh,
I can be
yeah,
very like direct about
yeah,
things that I otherwise wouldn't do, because I grew up in a family where nobody, you're just not direct like that,
sure.
sort of don't rock the boat. And so I'm still learning how to express myself, really.
You never stop. I feel the same.
Yeah.
Feel the same. Um, I've got a couple more for you. I want to know, what does the next year look like? What are some potential lofty goals you'd like to hit, or just some things in process that you want to talk about?
Awesome. Um, let's see. We've been playing live together, and that's been really nice. So,
Nice.
so our plan is to continue doing that in and around St. Louis, and that's been great because we've just been
Cool.
so focused on the songwriting,
Hmm.
and it feels so good to get out and play it for other people, and just kind of
Yeah.
try it out on audiences, and that's been really nice. And we've gotten some really nice feedback on that, on our newest songs. We just played a bunch of new songs at a place called Evangeline's here in St. Louis, and it was just awesome. It's good to get sort of real vibes and honest feedback
Nice.
about kind of what we're playing, and so that feels really good. So I definitely want to keep doing that. And then we've got quite a few new songs that we're working on now. So we'll be heading into the studio soon,
Cool.
and yeah, so we'll keep working on that. We've got a few songs that are almost done with production, and so those will probably be out in the early spring.
Okay. Plenty to look forward to.
Totally. So we're working on that, and yeah, that's kind of, and we're just gonna keep writing for sure.
I mean, it sounds like you're always doing something in some capacity. You can't stop an artist's brain from creating, or you can't put it on the back burner. You got to get it out there. I love
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Um,
it's so true.
my last question is very similar to last time, but the question is basically for the person that is going to discover you guys from this. What is an opening message that you'd like to say to them?
Hmm.
Um,
I would say that I hope our music reaches you in some way, and we hope you find a connection in something that we find meaningful, because we enjoy uh, putting the project, each song is a project. I think we enjoy putting these projects together, and we enjoy playing them live. And we hope that we're able to connect on some level with you, with something you're looking for and might not even know yet.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I guess I would say, you know, we chose the name Lost on the Metro because we've both been lost before, you know, in different ways. And it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to feel lost. And I think also you sometimes you find the the most amazing connections, you know, when you're going through that process of losing yourself and finding yourself. And
True.
we're still finding it. We're still figuring out what, and we've been married for 25 years, so we're still going through that process, and that is okay. And it is okay to feel lost, and it's okay to feel like you're still trying to find yourself. So
I love that. It's an endless journey.
it is. It really.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Jill and David, I want to sincerely thank you so much for taking the time. Please let me plug your music for you once again. Everyone out there, the song is called Mariana, but I also implore you to listen to the rest of their music because it's fantastic. We will have links in the article so that everyone can listen and share and follow along. And by the sound of it, it sounds like there's a ton more coming in 2023. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much again. And I sincerely hope that we can speak again, in the next, who knows, soon.
Thank you so much for giving
Thank
us the
you so
opportunity. It's great to talk
much.
to you as always.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. Have a great rest of your day. Talk to you
Thank
later.
you so much.
Take care.
See you
Bye bye.
later.